The Danish design is attractive, I'd say, because of its simplicity and its functionality. CBS is a city campus, which means that not all the buildings are right next door to each other. A couple of them are, but they're a little bit more dispersed. You'll never have to walk more than, for example, 10, 12 minutes to get to one of your classes, but there will be other buildings in between. The bike is the best way to get around quickly. For example, there's a building called Dalgashav, and that's for more of the soft sciences, have their base there, and it's a little bit more feminine almost, you could say. It's white and it has this very light-filled and blues and pinks, and whereas Kielen here, which is more the management or the structured part of business, is a little bit more hard lines. It has some concrete, glass, steel, so actually the materiality of the buildings reflects the kind of study that is taking place within them. Solbjergplads has been kind of the hub. A lot of the administrative tasks at CBS take place in Solbjergplads. It's where Cafe Nexus is, so many times if you have to meet up, you meet up at Solbjerg because it's the center. It's also where most of the big lecture halls are. Well, there's a lot of sponsors for CBS, the big companies in Denmark, so you'll notice that the auditoriums are named after these big companies. So you might have a class in the Danske Bank auditorium or the Nordea Bank auditorium, and so they all have their kind of identities. And Porcelænshavn is a really nice building as well. There's a lot of big events that don't necessarily take place during the school day, but in the evening, for example, wine tastings or parties for exchange students during the introduction week. The design of the CBS facilities is really nice, not only in that they look pretty, but also in the function that they have. You know, just the classroom spaces, but there's also outdoor spaces. So when there's nice weather, you'll see students out there reading in the sun, and so the landscaping between is also very nice. When you're in the classrooms, it's not necessarily like a dungeon. There's usually windows with a lot of light coming in, and that makes it more enjoyable to study if it's even a nice day. For example, in Kielen, it's very light-filled. Yeah, I would say it's very focused on the people. So it's maybe not always making this grand gesture that it's very expensive, but it's how do people function in the space. So you'll see a lot of space designated for social activities. For example, cafes. In Solbjergplads, for example, we have a Cafe Nexus where students can go and grab a beer after class, and a meeting space for group work. And you'll see that in all of the facilities, that there's a lot of space for the students, whether or not you're studying, working on group work, or just needing to hang out and socialize for a bit. And that makes it a lot more motivating to come to school when you get to be in nice facilities.